Hi guys, welcome to part 1 of the Enhanced Input Root Motion tutorial series. Today we're going to add in our walking and running. We're going to set up our blend space, our animation blueprint, as well as go ahead and add in a walk run toggle while we're at it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, go ahead and open up our third-person character blueprint. And then we're going to go ahead and create an animation blueprint. SBP EI tutorial. I'm just naming this so I know what it is. You can name it whatever you want to name yours. Let's go ahead and make a blend space as well while we're in here. S tutorial. Save those. Let's open up. Now let's go ahead and third person character. We're going to create a new folder. Just animations. Let's go ahead and just import our animations real quick. Those are going to be pinned comment down below. You can download those. If you did the previous root motion tutorial series without the enhanced input, we're going to be using the same animations. Alright, we're going to pick our SK mannequin underscore skeleton, which is our UE4. The animations are for, so that's what we're going to use. And import all. Check those out. Good. Go ahead and highlight all those. We're going to go to Asset Actions, down to Bulk Edit via Property Matrix. We're going to go to where it says Root Motion, and we're going to go to the box for Enable Root Motion and check that. Go ahead and click down here, Save Selected, so it saves all that. That's going to enable our root motion on our animations. And let's go ahead and open up our blend space. We'll go back to our blueprints folder, open up our blend space, drop the horizontal axis and vertical axis under your access settings over here down. Horizontal axis, we're going to name to side input, set minimum axis to -2, maximum axis to +2. Go ahead and click on snap to grid, and vertical axis, we're going to do forward input, and that's going to be the same, -2 and 2, and snap to grid. So basically this sets this up. Our forward input is going to be up and down on our graph, and our side input is going to be left and right on our graph. So let's go ahead and drag these in. We'll start with the idle in the middle. Run backwards, we'll go all the way down to the bottom. Run backward left, we'll go in the bottom left corner. Run backward right, bottom right. Run forward, we'll go all the way to the top. Forward left, top left. Forward right, top right. Run left, all the way to the middle left. Run right, to the middle right. Walk backward. We're going to go right behind our idle, in between our idle and our run backward. Backward left, same thing. Forward right, same thing. Walk forward, in between our run and our idle. Forward left, same thing as backward. Forward right, same thing, right side. And then walk left in between our run left and our idle, and our walk right in between our run right and our idle. So you should have basically your diamond, square, diamond, and a square. I'll go ahead and click the names just so you can see those. So if you hold control and move your mouse, it's going to go through your animations. And then I always like to add smoothing time and switch this over to cubic. You can play around with these and see what works best with you. For your animations, every animation pack is going to be different. With these being for Mixamo, it's kind of the best that we're going to get it. Go ahead and save that, and we're going to close that out. We're not going to need that anymore. So let's go ahead and go to our BP third person character blueprint. Let's go ahead and move this jump input down. We're going to stretch this out. Let's go ahead and disconnect this. Get rid of that. Disconnect this. Get rid of that. We're going to get rid of control rotations and get right and forward vector. Get rid of those. So from our leftover action value, a reroute node here, we're just going to right click that, promote that to a variable. We're going to call that side input. Go ahead and connect this here. And then same thing with our action value Y. We're going to promote that to a variable. We're going to call that forward input. Stretch that over here, and we're going to set that on the forward backward section. And go ahead and duplicate both of those. If you haven't figured it out, when you duplicate, you use Control D to duplicate, but it's going to duplicate wherever your mouse is at. So just put your mouse where you want to duplicate them, and it makes it a little bit easier. That way it's not being duplicated right on top of it or next to it. We're going to go ahead and connect those to our completed on our input action IA move. Okay. And then we're going to connect our set side input to our scale value on our add movement for left right. Same thing with the forward. And then let's open our animation blueprint. Rename that. It needs to be ABP. Let's go ahead and open that up. And we're going to grab that blend space, BS. We will set up state machines and stuff later. We're just going to go ahead and drag this stuff in, make sure that it's all working. Right now, as you see, we don't have any variables for our side input and forward input. We're not going to create those variables here. We're going to go into our event graph. Okay, we're going to right click and create a blueprint. Create begin play event blueprint begin play. We're going to go ahead and move this try get pawn owner up here next to that. We're going to cast to BP underscore third person character. We're going to connect that get try pawn owner to the object pin. We're going to go ahead and right click the as BP third person character, promote that to a variable, and I'm going to call this character reference. Okay, and then from our event blueprint animation update, go ahead and actually no, let's just go ahead and get our character reference. You're gonna right click on the pin, convert to valid get. That's basically going to give us a as valid node, but it's specifically for our character reference. And so from the character reference, we're going to drag off. We're going to get side input, drag off again, get forward input, and then we're going to promote each one of those to a variable. Straighten those up. Put that to a variable. And then we're going to promote this to a variable as well. Go ahead and compile and save. Then let's go back to our anagraph. We're going to drag the side input to the side input pin. Same thing with the forward input. Go ahead and compile and save that. Go ahead and then close out your animation blueprint, and we're going to reopen that. Once you reopen that, you'll have the details over here on the side, root motion mode. You're just going to switch that to root motion from everything. Compile and save that again. Okay. And compile and save our third person blueprint. We need to change our mesh. So on our mesh and our third person character blueprint, we're going to go over here to the mesh, grab the drop down, SK mannequin. We're going to switch our animation class. We're going to switch that to our animation blueprint we just made. So mine's going to be ABP-EI tutorial. We're going to compile that. Let's go to the viewport, make sure that that's working. So that looks good. Let's go ahead and play. So now we're set up for our walking. You know, and as I said in my previous tutorial, without the enhanced input, I would definitely recommend changing the animations. I just want to give you guys the base for it to be set up. All you got to do is go in and put your own animations in, and then figure out your how you want to blend those and stuff to make those look better. But so far, we're at the point now where we've got walking implemented. It is working correctly. We are going to go ahead and add in the toggle walk and run, so we can get our run set up as well. So we're going to go back into our event graph of our BP third person character, and we're going to add a branch before our set side input. So hold B and click. That's going to create a branch for you. Go ahead and connect that. Remove these ones connected to the completed down out of the way. So the reason that we did this, and this was actually the issue that I couldn't figure out. This is what I couldn't figure out, was I was able to basically do the same setup. We're basically doing the same setup as we did without enhanced input. It's just a little bit different. But the completed is going to reset us back into 0 for movement for us to go back into idle. The issue I was having was I could not get the character to stop moving. The character was just continuously moving in the direction that I pushed for the movement. So something this simple is what I just couldn't figure it out for the life of me, and just happened to stumble across it. You know, thought, well, what if I try this and see what this does? So a lot of times if you run into an issue, just try things out until you find something that works. You'll be surprised sometimes how easy of a fix something actually is. So now that we have that branch in there, we're going to go down to our variables. We're going to create a new variable. This is going to be a Boolean variable, and call it is running with a question mark. We're going to go ahead and drag that into our condition for our branch. Now we're going to set up our input for our toggle walk and run. So we're going to go to our input folder. We're going to go to actions. You can actually just duplicate your IA jump. So Control D, rename that to IA toggle walk. Let's go ahead and open that up. You can leave that set as bool. In our triggers, go ahead and hit your plus. We're going to set our trigger to pressed. Go ahead and save that. Okay, and then we're going to go back to our input folder. We're going to go to our IMC default. This is our actual controller where we add our mappings at now. So you got your mappings, as you see. It's basically the same way it was before. It's just now in the controller instead of in your actual project settings. So we're going to hit the plus to add a mapping. Now we've already got our mapping set up. All we've got to do is just go down to our IA toggle walk. And then we're going to pick our key. So click on your keyboard icon here and left alt. That's what you want to use. You can use that or just use whatever key you want to use. Save that and go ahead and close that. Go ahead and compile. We're going to, right here next to our jump, right click, IA, toggle, walk. We're going to go ahead and add a branch. Off of our trigger, drag to our branch. We're going to grab that is running variable. Get that. Drag off of that. We're going to add a not boolean. Plug that into our branch condition. We're then going to get our is running. If you drag that and hold it, and then go ahead and click on your alt and then let go, that's going to go ahead and set it. We're going to duplicate that once. Plug one into true, one into false, and then our true, we're going to go ahead and click that, set it true. Go ahead and highlight all those, hit C. Go ahead and comment this is toggle walk. Okay, and now what I was trying to show in the last series, but OBS wasn't working with me right. Now if you click on one of these, go to the comment color, and you drag off of your color into here, that's going to store that color for you to use now. You can add quite a few colors in there. So now we can click on this one, go to our comment color, click this box. Now it just looks a little bit better. And I always do show bubble on zoom on stuff like this. That way I just know where it's at. Alright, so then we're going to go into our movement input. Drag this back a little bit. Make some room. Off of our false, we're going to go ahead and grab both of these and duplicate those. Just kind of cleaned up a little bit here. Double click here, set another reroute node. From our Y value, we're going to drag down into our forward input. And then from this reroute node, we're going to drag down into our side input. All right, and then we're going to disconnect this side input. And we're going to drag off and add multiply. We're going to set our multiply value to 2. And then from our reroute node, we're going to drag off into the top of our multiply. So what we're doing here is we're telling the engine that we're now going to move up to 2. Because in our blend space, we set back run speed was -2, forward run speed was 2. Run speed left was -2, run speed right was 2 on our side input. Go ahead and save that. File and save. And let's go ahead and check that out. So it should start in walking. So we're still walking forward. check left and right, left and right. Okay, so our side input's working correctly. So now we're going to do the same thing on our forward input. Let's go ahead and disconnect this. We're going to drag this reroute node back. We're just going to go ahead and copy this multiply, paste it over here. Take that to the forward input, and this to our top. Compile and save. Hit Alt. Alright, so now our running is working and our toggle walk run is working as well. Alright, so let's go back into our BP third person character. We're going to click on our character movement underneath our components here. And we're going to type in rotation and click on use controller desired rotation. Compile and save. Now we can still look around the character, but the camera's moving with the character. And we may set up the camera lock that I have set up in the previous version. If you guys would like to do that, let me know in the comments, please. Right now I don't have any plans to do that, but if there is interest in that, people want me to add that in as well, so I can show you how we do that with enhanced input. I can figure that out. I don't know if we really need to change anything, so it may be pretty simple for us to do. Other than that, you know, we're set up now. So appreciate all the support. Hope this helped you guys get set up for enhanced input for root motion for your project. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.